Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Also the North Central Chaplain for Broken Chains, JC. Welcome to the Micro Devotional. Today is September 12th, 2025, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 12. And I read the wrong chapter today because for whatever reason I thought it was the 13th when I was reading. So, everything I thought I was going to share with you is out the window because I didn't actually read Proverbs chapter 12. You ever do that? You ever have a day where you thought you were on track and everything was going right and all of a sudden it just goes off the rails? Well, let's see what God has to say to us today. We're looking, remember, about what Solomon says he wrote the Proverbs for. He did it, the very first two things he said about why he wrote these Proverbs and gave these wisdom statements. One was to learn what wisdom was. The other was to learn what discipline is. Proverbs 12 verse 4, one of my favorite verses. Probably because I cherish what I have as a gift from God. A capable wife is her husband's crown, but a wife who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. And I've read this 1,000 times, and I want you to understand that this is a teaching of what discipline is. A wife of good character is her husband's crown. But a wife who is ashamed, I realize that we often translate it as causes shame because we want to put the guilt on someone else, right? But it better translates a wife who is ashamed of her husband is like rottenness in his bones. Guys, ladies, this is for you as well, recognizing that you are a crown for your husband. And if you're ashamed of your husband, then he needs help. You were created as his strength. That word in Genesis that says helpmate doesn't mean submissive. It means his strength in areas where he's weak. If you're ashamed of him, he has areas he is weak. And he needs you to be his strength. But guys, Solomon said he wrote these so we would understand discipline. A wife of good character is our crown. But if she's ashamed of us, it should be like rottenness in our bones. It should be something that is so bad and so aching in us that we need to have that correction, that loving correction that only the strength from our helpmate could bring. Don't assume that submitting to your husband statement from Paul means you don't have to listen to her. She is your crown. She caps you off and makes you who you need to be. You need to hear what she has to say and let her help you become the man you are intended to be. I am grateful for my wife when she comes to me and points out the areas where I am lacking and gives me the proper discipline that is necessary. Yes, loving correction can come in just the form of pointing it out, all the way into the place of, really bad. If I was really bad to her, I would expect for her to slap me across the face and say, you should not be talking to me that way, right? Not in an abusive way, but in a loving reminder of a way. Now, I'm not saying go beat your husbands. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if it got to the point where it was completely wrong in private, you need to be able to receive that correction from your wife. A capable wife is her husband's crown. A wife who is ashamed is like rottenness in his bones. A wife of good character is her husband's crown. Now, ladies, that also means that if you are not in good character, maybe you scream and yell at him all the time, and you never uplift him and encourage him and guide him, you might not be considered a wife of good character either. There's correction here in both of these for both of us. Remember, this is just one verse in all of Proverbs 12. Go read it. See what Solomon has to say about both learning what wisdom and what discipline is. Not what it looks like, what it is. Go study for yourself today. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.